You probably know about all of your character's aerials, and you likely use them all the time, but there are a lot of factors that go into using aerials besides the aerial move itself. I'm G5 Cosmos for Game 5 Smash, and I'm going to teach you how to expand and free your aerial gameplay. Very often when I watch newer players, they'll be using the automatic short hop input to do most of their aerials. At a beginner's level, this makes sense, because a short hop is lower than a full hop, so if you want to hit the opponent at ground height, a short hop aerial would seem best. Sometimes this is what you'd want, but doing aerials like this heavily restricts you to only one aerial timing, and one that often is easiest to whiff punish too. See, when you do the short hop aerial input, you always get a rising aerial, which means the aerial comes out as you're ascending with your jump. This is good if your opponent is in the air or you're retreating, but a rising short hop aerial means you'll be stuck in the air for a long time before you can land and do something else. Some characters can perform another action after a rising aerial, but even then there's a lag gap in between. For most aerials in neutral, you'll actually want to space with falling aerials by inputting a short hop and then inputting the aerial around the apex of your jump and fast falling. The relative timing of all of these varies based on your character and their aerials, but your goal is always to have the hitbox come out as close to the ground as possible. This way you can minimize lag by going straight from the active hitbox to your landing lag and then regain control. Doing this on shield is the best method to make your aerial safe, especially if you space outside of your opponent's out of shield options range. You can do a falling aerial from a full hop as well. Just wait a bit longer before swinging so you're close to the ground. Keep in mind that some characters, like Pichu for example, don't get much benefit from falling aerials. Aerials with low range and low shield stun, like multi-hits, are generally less safe on shield and require you to get dangerously close to connect them. On the contrary, aerials that are active for long periods of time work well as rising aerials, because you can maintain the small gap of lag before landing, since the aerial stays active from your ascent to your descent, and you also don't have to commit to the empty ascent needed for typical falling aerials. Taking a step back to look at aerial timings in general, you can swing your aerial at any time while in the air, so you should opt to swing only when the aerial is extremely likely to connect with its target. A common habit players have is to always input an aerial immediately after jump, whether it be a short hop, full hop, or double jump, but very often you first need to use that jump and drift to travel close enough to the opponent for the aerial to be in range. Try to use your jumps and aerials independently as needed for the situation. When it comes to combos and juggling, you may think that you'd always want to do your aerial as quickly as possible out of your jump to ensure that it connects fast enough, and although often true, this is not always the case. Delaying an aerial even slightly after jumping will allow you to fall and land just a bit sooner after the aerial connects, and this can create additional follow-ups, such as lightning loops. Even without a follow-up, landing sooner will allow you to juggle and trap landings more efficiently. If you'd like me to take a look at your gameplay and offer you the same advice that works for the pros, contact me on Twitter to set up a personal coaching session. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to Game 5 Smash for more tech and tips.